And we are live here once again and speaking to you for probably the last time of this year in the Matrix calendar, where we've got New Year's celebration tomorrow. And boy, will we celebrate, huh? Although the new year for us starts in spring, according to the equinoxes and the solstice. However, there's something going on here, isn't there, Raw? And we've been instructed by Mother Earth as carriers of the knowledge, tuning in to the new signal that she feeds to us in this co-creative relationship with Mother Earth, where you have a bond with the living planet and no bond to any artificial matrix system of hierarchy, control, do your job, shut up, and stay asleep. That's nothing for the Gnostic Takeover, obviously. So we've got a bond with Mother Earth and one of the most powerful allies of Datura, of which Errol can speak more about. I had a vision. I got a vision from Datura, which, as I mentioned yesterday, was so powerful, one of the most powerful energies I've ever come across. And Datura showed me what she is about. She's a witch, isn't she? And the witch showed me that Datura symbolizes, that's where we've got Datura, okay? Stechapfel, the seeds. It symbolizes, it is a slaughterhouse for demons, all demons. And this is where we activate planet Earth as being a slaughterhouse for demons. So you cannot attach to the Earth plane any longer, and you have to leave this planet once and for all. So I think we took quite an appropriate image, didn't we, Errol? Why did we? Is it too much? Or how would you say?
What is too much? In what sense?
The picture is a little bit aggressive and...
No, it's the closest picture. It's the closest thing we can find to depicting the initiation of the slave. So it's not really aggressive enough, to be honest with you. It's much worse than that. The nightmare for the archons is much worse than that.
And we're bringing it all forward through our consciousness, aren't we? By tuning in, and that in this co-creative, in this co-evolutionary relationship with Mother Earth, she finds conduits to work through, to have the will of the planet work through us as a conduit, as human beings, as antennas, and bring forward and activate the dragon, the energy of the dragon. And that is what can be described like a concept of the slaughterhouse, which is very appropriate. You see, because they invert all of that. They want genocide for humanity, and you're right over the target by re-inverting that, because it's actually a slaughterhouse for them to really get rid of the problem.
So basically, it's the dragon, the divine dragon, which is their greatest nightmare, which is here, activated. That's why they demonize the dragon against us, so that we think is the fallen angel, the devil, you know, what Christianity calls it. It's not the case. The dragon and the principalities of the dragon is the greatest nightmare for the archons, because that's their death. The dragon is their death.
And we're on quite a roll the last few days, as you can see, continuous uploading of videos and doing live streams exposing the network on the channel that cannot be censored because it's the workings of the new signal. And that's what they're very afraid. You see, it's a classic depiction of how a takeover looks like. Oh, YouTube has started censoring like crazy. YouTube is censoring everywhere. Don't react to the people that don't know what they're talking about. Archon being a dragon. Yeah, that's not true. Absolutely untrue. However, coming back to the main point of what I wanted to say, of which I've lost the trail of thought now, so we don't react to things. That's why I don't like to look into the chat unless I... Yeah, what I wanted to say was...
A fucking hack.
Yeah, but this is what happens sometimes.
We're talking about yesterday. Or
We've been on quite a roll doing the videos, which has been building up the energy, and therefore I would say let everyone reveal. So we had this also yesterday. Okay, Errol, you triggered. Oh, Errol takes it personal. We know who we're talking about, and we've got witches here and on this channel, and that's good because you will all reveal. And yeah, that's what we're talking about, mass exorcism. That's why we also always get these stupid ads on our group and Telegram, Bitcoin and all that. So this is how mass exorcism looks like. The attacks increase. However, we can use these attacks and the energy behind it against the enemy itself, like the principle of Aikido works.
Yep.
And direct it right back to the origin of the attack. And I want to go back. Can we reflect? So with the videos we've done the last few days, the energy has built up and it reached a point with something that happened after the stream we did yesterday. Mm-hmm. So how was the activation of the magnetics? How could it be seen in our direct experience?
Activation of the magnetics. Yesterday was a very intense day energetically. And as I said yesterday in the video, you couldn't cut the atmosphere with a katana sword. It was so dense. The reason being, there was a build-up of energies because something big was coming. And a part of it came yesterday. It's not the whole thing, by the way. What happened yesterday was... we ended up with an Archon in the living room, didn't we?
Just a normal thing that happens, isn't it?
You want to carry on? Or this guy showed up. Well, he called one of us and someone which one of us knows. And he was basically saying that my mum attacked me all of a sudden for no reason and her eyes changed. In other words, she was a demon, right? For no reason, she attacked him. So went and picked him up, brought him to the house, and we started talking. Well, you do realize that this is a global exorcism taking place at the moment. We're flushing out all the demons. We're getting rid of them. And then he was pretending to kind of not know anything about it, like be surprised. Oh, really? Oh. And then we took out some datura and smudged him with it. Then all of a sudden, his demon started reacting and started coming out with him, in him.
And he was openly telling us also that the demon inside of him is not liking it. So I was like, okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm. And well, I didn't understand much of the conversation because it was in German. But Steve and the rest of the guys were speaking with him, and apparently he was trying to manipulate. So basically, Steve was telling him, listen, mate, You either accept to do a ceremony with us, or you leave this house and you never come back. So in the end, he finally left, didn't he, Steve?
Yeah.
Had no choice.
However, there was how should I say? So the conversation went that straight from the beginning, we told him about the happenings in St. Corona and what we've been through there, and heading right to the point of talking about the high priest of Satanism, and that's what we're dealing with here in this crisis. Because he also told us that as we said, his mother attacked him yesterday, and according to his story, the friend of the mother's eyes turned black, and we thought the story was very intriguing. So he was asking, like, what is going on here? And I said, well, we're doing a mass exorcism on this planet here, and we're telling all evil has to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And that was activating the demon inside of him. So he started talking openly about the demon inside of him, but in sort of like in the beginning, a romanticized way. It's very interesting because they don't want to get rid of their demon. And then sort of like, yeah, and the demon keeps torturing him, and he's got this and he's got that. And he just starts, he was drinking beer here also. And he just starts talking a lot. So I can see there's an energy harvest going on here. Harvesting of energy. To not get to the core of things. Get to the point, okay? And I said after, I don't know, let him talk for 10 minutes. I said, hang on, mate, okay? Either you do a ceremony with us. If you really want to get rid of that demon, we can do a ceremony if you want. Or you just leave. Because all evil has to leave, and you make your choice. Okay, you're deep into your addictions. I'm not going to buy the bullshit that it's all hard for you and this and that, because it's a choice. And if that demon is really torturing you, like you're saying, then you want to get rid of that torture. But you see, when we have a bond with Mother Ayahuasca, that's the other side of a bond, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what is the sort of dynamic? How would you explain someone who's possessed, a demon torturing him or her, and them actually enjoying it? How can that be understood?
It's trauma bonding. Basically, people who have demons, who are possessed, okay, they never stand up to them because it's trauma bonding. They don't want to get rid of their demons. So they get into a slave master relationship with their demons, and they enjoy being submissive and tortured and abused. And this is where it manifests in the form of, that's why you have all these demasculinated men out there who are no longer men, who pay money to female mistresses to get beaten the shit out of and abused.
Mm-hmm.
For example. And this is why we live in a society who enjoy their slavery. They literally enjoy it. It's abuser victim trauma bonding. That's why they don't want to get rid of their demons. And that's exactly what happens if you don't stand up to your demon right from the start. That's why it's important to stand up to your demons from the very beginning, before you become used to them. Yeah.
Exactly. And what I learned in the great book, Dispelling Wetiko and Breaking the Curse of Evil by Paul Levy, he explains that the demonic is an energy that can go in two ways. It's a natural energy. That's why we like to talk about the Aikido principle. Force being applied by the opponent, and you use that force of the opponent to use it against the opponent, and that's the most effective way of dealing with a problem. You don't just have a problem, and let's say like a problem of genocide on the planet, and then say, well, The solution to this is we just create our own community, our own schools, our own shops, grow our own food, and we're going to be fine. Why is it not going to be fine? Because you're not dealing with the cause of the problem.
It's the satanic mindset. As long as I'm fine and my family, I don't care about the rest of the world.
It does not work. And you hear this, probably everyone has heard people talk about how can we move through this phase that we're in the whole corona crisis. Oh, we'll write a declaration of of being alive. We deregister from the system, and we create our own community, and we just get away from the cities. We flee the cities and be on the countryside and make our own community, and you're not dealing with the problem.
No. Escapism leads you further into the trap. As a matter of fact, it's even worse. Like a lot of people, they're escaping their reality, fleeing to other countries. A lot of people running away to Mexico now, pretending that they're all good and safe with their little community there, which they can provide with their stupid Bitcoin. Where do you think these Satanists are going to tie their Bitcoin into? They're going to tie their Bitcoin into the one world digital currency, and you're not going to have access to it unless you have a vaccine. So what are you going to do with your Bitcoin then? There's no running. Because Jeff Berwicks, Max Egan's.
Yeah, Max Egan is not really that much into digital currencies, but it matters not. The point is, it's about the point and not the individuals. We're just saying this because still the problem continues of not being able to put this message forward, okay? However, the digital currencies, who created them? And what is the digital sphere? So back to the point of escapism, there's no way to escape it. It's a trap to think you can have your own community because you can't. It's the absolute truth.
As long as the problem exists on the earth, no human will ever be free.
Yeah. It's the archontic mindset, the archontic mind virus. That's the very problem, okay? Not any individuals. When we name individuals, it's just that we are also frustrated of still not being able to put this information forward. We'd love to do as many interviews as we can because you see, the reason is not because we've got this amazing story to tell that will really entertain people and wow, we need to tell people. No, it's about the activation of the 100th monkey syndrome, which is the very reason why there is such a blockade on us getting the message out, because the people do not interview us because of the hack of the matrix for them not to get in touch with us and come back to us and be too busy. That's why we mentioned that, but coming back, we need to deal with the cause of the problem. And dealing with the cause of the problem, we go into Wetiko. And the demonic energy that you learn about in Dispelling Wetiko is an energy that you can either use for creativity by transforming. This is all about the shadow work. This is when you uncover the darkness inside of you and shine the light in there and heal the traumas, as we talked about yesterday. What you will activate is a power inside of you that is actually heart-based intelligence, which then leads to creativity. You expressing and imagining and creating. That's we're creative beings, we're creative beings. However, the other side of the coin of the demonic energy, okay, when you don't transform the demonic energy within you, leads to destruction.
You become it.
You become it, and that spreads like a virus, and it can be seen in the Archon world system and the Archon cities that are, as Errol explains, energy-sucking machines.
The matrix of the Archons, yeah, basically.
And that is what is being flushed now.
System flush.
It's a system flush.
Yeah.
And I want to jump to what happened today. So we dealt with the demon in our living room after yesterday's live stream. You see, guess what happens? This is direct evidence of how activation of the magnetics work. You don't have to do anything. The demons come to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you learn from that experience. Don't you?
Yeah. And just want to say, it's up to you when all of this is over, guys. Don't ask us. When is this going to be over? When is this corona hoax going to be over? When is this whole situation going to be over? It's going to be over when you decide it's over. What are you asking us for?
So we dealt with the demon in the living room yesterday because we're building up the energy and they get magnetically drawn into facing us. And we dealt with him in the appropriate way. We showed him the door. If you don't want to do a ceremony, if you don't choose your healing, well, your choice is to continue spreading destruction.
Yeah.
And I told him right in his face, I said, look me in the eyes. All evil has to leave this planet. And that is the last word. And then what happened is this demon then continues on, wants to stay on and suck energy as much as possible. So now he's exposed. So now he wants to start intimidating a little bit and hang on here. Just stay here. And so he asks, can I open another beer? And like, no, we don't do any beer. There's no celebration for you here. We're not playing with ourselves. There's no more beers for you, okay? Either you choose healing from your demon and doing a ceremony, or you get the chop. That's as simple as. Clear choices. So still wouldn't leave. So what I said was, do you know what this is? And we were burning datura as he was here, and he was also inhaling it. And he was like, he was morphing into a demon. He was like, oh, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. He was mumbling out. So I said, do you know what this is? It's a slaughterhouse for demons. And that's when he left. The next thing that happened is he's getting his shoes. And it was long before he left. So that's how you deal with them.
Can't come in anymore.
Is telling them exactly what is going on this planet. So today was interesting to see what happened when we go to the river to do our daily, the slay of the day in the ice cold water.
Never seen the river as it was today before. It was flowing, overflowing, and it was high, and it was flooding, and it was running like it was washing everything away in its way. Never seen it like that before. I wonder why.
Yeah, and we had some incredible signs also show up from Mother Nature, didn't we? Some incredible signs, like there were beautiful
6 swans.
6 swans. And the swan standing for what I've just jotted down, that which resonated with me, how it correlates to the situation that we're going through right now. The swan symbolizing love and loyalty. We keep talking about love, don't we? Love and loyalty, because aren't we loyal to the duty that we have? Absolutely. I've never been so focused on the job ahead, and we're really aimed. And Mother Earth, this is what you experience in nature. You look it up, and then you look into what resonates with you. And this is what resonates with loyalty, showing us, yeah, she loves it, the loyalty that we show toward the cause for the planet.
Yeah.
Not our cause, not our story. Planet, humanity.
It is our story. When we do away with all the bullshit in our lives, our story is the same story as the story of the earth. It's the same story. Our vision and our goal is the same.
Exactly.
It's a collaboration, relationship effort.
Another beautiful one is innocence that the swans symbolize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. humanity is innocent, but needs to take responsibility. Protect that innocence. It's a divine, very deep
That's where the
energy.
Slayer principle comes in.
Protect the innocent.
Mhm.
Purity. It's also purity, yeah. Nothing to hide. Try and expose the Gnostic Takeover as controlled opposition. I wish you very good luck.
Go ahead, do it, guys.
Go ahead.
Free.
Nothing to hide.
No problem. Expose us, report us to the police.
Yeah.
Report us to
Well,
whoever the hell you want to. Yeah, it's not a problem.
it also symbolized death. Yeah, for who?
For the Archons.
Death for the Archons, rebirth for humanity and the planet.
Rebirth for life. All
Rebirth
life.
for life. And transformation. Now, what did we see when we got to our place?
Interesting.
Where we go into the river, we do our exercises, we do our breathing exercises, training, and then we jump into the ice-cold river.
We encountered 2 dead animals just by the edge of the water. First one was a dead swan. The other one was a young dead deer. So we both pulled them out of the river, which was very interesting.
What did that tell you?
Whenever the dams burst and the protective principle kicks in of creation, there's always collateral damage during the war against the enemies of life. There's always collateral damage, unfortunately. And basically the weak links, the weaker genome, they get the chop as well if they stand in the way. That's what it symbolizes. That's how I feel what it symbolizes. And this is what I was speaking about, was it yesterday, the day before? The slay has been initiated, okay? And no matter what, we are going to slay these Archons, and who or whatever stands in our way will also get the chop too. Okay, because you don't go and stand in the middle of the motorway or the highway, the autobahn, whatever you want to call it, if you don't want to get run over. Yeah.
That's how strong the aim is. Exactly. And for me also, it also tied in, for me, a message from the Archons.
Mm-hmm.
Also. Sort of like...
Intimidation,
yeah. So for me, it's a good sign. Okay, again, this is intimidation, which doesn't work with us, but their demented mind cannot comprehend that. We're not intimidated.
because why exactly on our usual spot? Yeah. Right?
Exactly. And 2 dead animals, like not only 1 but 2.
And divine as well, a swan and a deer.
So again, we're not intimidated, but this energy and the intimidation, we transform again, and I conceptualize and imagine it to be a symbol of the big slay that's upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Something very, 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 very big is going to happen very soon.
Let's get the river straight. The river was not iced over because it was flowing like never flowing before. So how could the river be iced over? It was flowing like it has never been flowing before.
So what did that symbolize for you?
Purification, flush. The dam has busted, it's broken down, and the floodgates are open. So the cavalry comes in and flushes out the entire archontic force which has invaded this planet right now. That's what we're looking at right now, guys. Okay, the planet is now become a slaughterhouse for the Archons. The slay has been initiated, and we're still in the beginning phases.
Yeah, it's gonna be very, very powerful. So it's more important than ever to really align with discipline and really align with the loyalty to yourself and do what is really going to connect you with nature.
Mhm.
Because we really, really need to get into our power right now. It's more important than ever to really just try it, even if we might sound crazy. It would have sounded crazy to me also 4 months ago
The reason why we
to
keep
go into
talking
the ice
about
cold
this,
water. Yeah, now's the time. So just try it, just whatever. Take a towel and just jump in there and see what. Just try it out. Merge with the elements. Because there's a massive storm coming now. Ooh.
the reason why we insist, guys, all the time is take ice cold water baths, do wild swimming in your rivers and lakes where you find them, wherever you are. I'm not talking about just doing cold shower in the house. Go and bathe in the rivers and the lakes on the land, ice cold, and put your intention while you're doing it. Give your commands. Okay. Now is the exact time to do it. It's powerful. Okay. And it will speed up the process. Okay. People talk about mass meditation for peace. Let's do a mass meditation for peace. This is what a mass meditation is. It's a high command to command evil to leave this land so that your intentions can then work, because it's open, the energy is open. There is no interference, there is no block by these entities anymore. That's the real work that needs to be done.
That's a very, very important point, I would say. Very important point, because as I like to quote the great psychologist and mystic, very profound insights that he brought up, Carl Gustav Jung, that which you need most is where you least want to look at. And everyone can do a meditation. It's quite comfortable.
Very comfortable.
We don't say that meditation is good for you. Okay, we're not saying that meditation is you should not do meditation. No, meditation is good for you. However, the ice cold water stay there where the mind starts kicking like no, you don't want to be doing that. Ask yourself, who tells you that? Are those your thoughts? Or have we been domesticated?
Too much. We've been domesticated too much. We're wild beings. We're beings of the earth. The earth is wild. We're wild beings. We have to be wild again. Okay? My intention, which was the high command today, was Archons, leave! Leave! This is your slaughterhouse. Because when people talk about, oh, you have to put your intention into the water is sacred, and yes, it is, but you charge it with your attitude, with your intention, which comes along with your attitude, which you're putting in there. So you're commanding a slay, okay, with the language of the slay. War against the Archons. That's resonating through the whole water, through the whole river, and that's going everywhere. So imagine the power of making such an intention in a flowing river.
And that river heading right into the Danube and right into the direction of Vienna. The vein of the heart. Oh, Miss Vienna, I have to say at this point. We're coming in there. However, I also want to point out, this is something that has dropped into my awareness today, because I'm always adamant to do the slay, to write that notice to all the politicians, police, all of them. However, today it sort of shifted a little bit with what happened yesterday with the demons showing up directly with us. It was the magnetism that we talk about directly in front of our eyes.
We're beyond all that now.
Activating the magnetics. And this is what we'll keep doing. This is the notice for the politicians. This, doing the videos here, for the police, for all of humanity, no matter what institution, this is the notice.
Yeah, and now we've got a few takedowns coming. We're taking down a few of these satanic places very soon. I strongly feel this.
Yeah.
And Marn, I have Vision 22 is coming too. We're taking you down soon.
Yeah. So it's a much more flowing process, and this is the thing with the source-guided approach. You cannot plan anything because everything comes different to what you think it does, because it's not you. You see, your ego construct trying to solve something, but let it drop in, and the next steps will always be revealed when the time is right.
Yeah, because the satanic network is it's like a web, you know? It's like you pull one thread, the whole thing comes undone, apart, and everything that's attached to it comes with it. So all you got to do is just find one thread and pull it, and the rest follows. And when you do that, you'll be surprised to see how big of a web it is. But I mean, it's big, but it's nothing, you know? They're gonna fucking eat them alive, mate. I really look forward, you know? I really look forward.
Of what the next steps are going to be, because it will be magnetically drawn to us, because this is how it works. I want to talk about the system flush now. Okay, we're talking about the slaughterhouse. Planet Earth is a slaughterhouse for demons. So this is what you get when you fuck with the Earth people. Okay, this is the Earth people speaking here. Protectors and guardians of the Earth that we are.
Mm-hmm.
And let everyone listening here remember, are you a protector and guardian of the Earth too? I hope so. And what is the nature of the virus flush? The Merkaba, as we talk about. What I would like to start with is it's electromagnetism. Okay? So you have the upright pyramid and the downward pyramid coming into equilibrium. That's the heart, the singularity that they talk about. In AI, there's no singularity in AI. Here it is, the Merkaba. And the electrical component is when you make an intention, that's the aim. Telestai. That's why we're telestai. We have an aim. It's the intention. It's the electrical component of the Merkaba. You make an intention, and then after the intention, you show the dedication, which is, okay, this is your intention, source says. So you need to show the dedication on all steps along the way. And then you're going to be challenged to the maximum, getting rid of unhealthy behaviors, unhealthy habits, all the hacks, all the hidden ways where you're still playing with yourself.
Comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stop playing with yourself. That's the Earth message. Stop playing. Stop creating hierarchies where you see, we have to get rid of all of that and show that dedication. It's the electric component. And then the magnetism kicks in. You show your dedication, you do what is necessary, you get rid of unhealthy behaviors and habits, and then magnetically things come to you. So whenever you try and force something, this is you doubting in the magnetic component of creation, which is the biggest mystery, I would say. Mm-hmm. The electric is already a mystery, because who talks about this stuff? Okay. Yeah, the power of intention is important. However, then balance it with the magnetic component. And another way of symbolizing that is like throwing a stone in the pond.
Oh, yeah.
When you throw the stone,
ripple effect.
That's the intention. That's the intention. You're throwing that stone, however far you're throwing it, and then the magnetic When it hits the water, the magnetics are activated. That's what you see in nature. That's the principle. The Merkaba explained by throwing a stone in a pond.
How else can we explain it? I mean, we explain how many times now? Like,
yeah. Lots of mysteries
there's
to
only
uncover and different angles to look at it.
there's only so much you can put it into words. You know, so many that the language can't really describe it for what it is. You know, you're trying to describe creation with language, human language. It doesn't work because the language of creation is energetic. You know. Yeah.
And also breathing. You're breathing in. That's an electric component, and breathing out and keeping the breath in, that activates the magnetics. That's why we do breathing exercise. That activates the Merkaba. Simple breathing. The Wim Hof technique really activates the magnetics.
It activates everything.
And the more you do the videos that we're doing, for example, suddenly out of nowhere, people show up. However, we're not wasting our time anymore with low-level initiates. Because this guy was not just one guy. It wasn't just a normal guy. Very high up in the demonic hierarchy. Basically, we're dealing with the demi anyway, the whole time.
Of course.
Satan himself, the trickster. And he's probably in charge of this area that we're here right now. So what happens today is also confirmation. What happens today is that probably we're gonna have a look to a new location.
Today?
Yeah.
Or tomorrow, you mean?
No, we heard it, which looks like the next step along our journey.
Oh yeah, it's on the way. You know?
Because you finish the job that we had here, and possibly now we're changing location.
Yeah.
So this is how it works.
Exactly. It's like the way it works is when you surrender to the magnetics, basically, when you surrender to the flow of the source, which they call the flow state, ultra instinct, whatever you want to call it. You're guided to and taken exactly where you need to be to do exactly what you have to do. But before you do it, you do not know on an intellectual level, you never know where you're going. But you end up exactly where you need to because you're in full trust and surrender to the source, the signal. And that's how it works. Because you plan this before you came here. When you come here, you don't remember it. But mission control does. So let mission control guide you. And that's how you get there.
Let us be guided. And this is what I learned today. Because subconsciously, I want to end all of this. I don't choose the timing. So, you see, even us deeply immersed into the study and the nature of the system flush, the Merkaba, the electromagnetism, I had still not integrated of really trusting that magnetics. It's a trust thing, isn't it? Trust.
It's
How important is trust?
That's what they call faith. That's what religion calls faith. Okay? It's trust. You fully trust and surrender to the source, and then nothing touches you.
Because we had a little bit of before all this happened yesterday. I also want to speak about that. A lot of stuff was also coming up, wasn't it? Because we've basically been living in a very small space, tightly knitted together, where everyone has like a little bit of the couch. That's your place you're living right now. And sometimes it gets too much. And yesterday it got a bit too much, where we're like, why? Why is it not possible for us to have a home? Is it because we're too dark? Is it because we're too negative? Are we missing out on something?
That's what I meant by the pressure, the energy built up so intense yesterday that you couldn't cut it with a sword. So this is why I said if it weren't for the slays that we do in the cold water, maybe we wouldn't be able to handle these energies. The cold water slay helps us handle these energies, and that's how we get through it.
Massively. And by talking with each other also, because there's 4 people in a small space, including with the child also. And the child also challenges us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we do it is by speaking about it, going deep, just sharing and clearing the air. It's called water bathing. And with doing this successfully, you magnetically draw in what needs to be dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn from that. So we dealt with what I would say is definitely a priest here of the old religion of Satanism, because they're not just random people. You wouldn't recognize it in the altar that he presented to us, but it's hidden in another altar, isn't it?
Exactly.
So we're not dealing just with some guy who just came around because his mum attacked him drinking beer. No. Priest. We know it, because it has to be, because we're not dealing with any low-level people. And he got the chop, so he basically lost energetically the authority, the illusory authority that he thought he had over the area that he's in, or that we're in right now. So it's basically like a collision, isn't it, of the mafia.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with the mafia. They don't show up in suits.
No.
They show up as priests.
Yeah. In rags. So basically, our plan now is to, in the new year, set up a German channel and get the information out there in German as well for the Austrian people, for the Austrian police and military, and get in touch with them and let them know exactly what's going on.
That's what's going to happen.
Steve is going to interview Liz properly in German so that we can give it over to them in German so that they know exactly what's going on, along with our videos we do here as well, exposing the network basically. Coupled with that, send it to the police, send it to the military officials, and then next thing you know, we're going in with them to the den of the archons. And alongside, we're also planning on doing another video explaining the psychology of Satanism, how they work. The psychologist lady you were referring to yesterday in yesterday's video, or was it the day before? I think yesterday.
Yeah.
We're going to expose her, and we're going to expose their psychology, how they operate, so that you guys can have a better understanding of identifying these Satanists, basically, so that you can help us bring them to justice too.
Yeah. And this is how you do it. So this is what we confidently say, and I've shared this. Link is underneath in the description below in our Telegram group, in the chat, on the channel. I share the video. This is a synchronicity. Okay, again, a pointer of where this is leading, of a man in the military in Germany directly warning and threatening, even there's a threat display to the local authorities and institutions in Germany about this genocide. Directly saying, I'm not doing this, and in actual fact, we're coming after you. We're not doing this any longer unless you drop it. And this is confirmation, and this is where we're being guided to. We are going to command the police and the military what to do, because this old signal has been broken of the satanic hierarchy, okay? This upright pyramid, this hierarchical pyramid of Satanism, which is a command and control structure that has been hacked into by checkmating the high priest of Satanism, which sits on the top of the pyramid, and a new signal has been inserted in there. So now a command needs to come from us, those, the carriers with the new signal, who have got it integrated the most, and actually make the step up to command the military, to command the police what to do next.
Because we're not taking commands from anyone anymore. No police force, no military, no government, no rock, nothing. We're not taking commands from anyone. Okay? We command them now. Because they have to follow us. If they want this crime solved, they have to follow us.
Exactly. And they have to.
Because they don't know where to bloody look.
Yeah. It's just a circus. Okay. The Austrian police, for example, is on the streets every single week. And also during the weeks with all the protests that is being conducted by controlled opposition, who we're also coming after. People that are organizing the demonstrations. We know all about you. You're not our friend. Okay. Including the people that we used to be close with, gave them the chop. All controlled opposition. Trying to set me and Errol up. Can you believe it? The entire Linz demo, where I've been a part of, where I spoke every week for a whole year, wanted to set me up as a Staatsverweigerer. The guy organizing it, who I thought was a friend of mine, kept telling me, you need to do this, Steve, you need to do that. Send them a declaration of being alive and deregister here and do this step here, setting me up so the authorities can define me and label me as a Staatsverweigerer, which is someone who
state
denier. But it would have only worked. You see, this is the power. It would have only worked if I followed the instruction of someone else and didn't believe in my own work. Unique work, which no one has done before. And when no one has done it before, Errol, that's the reason why it's going to work.
Because we don't need to declare anything to anyone. We are who we are. We are what we are. We're declaring to the world right here, right now, online. My identification is me. This is our identification. You're looking at us. You know, we don't need a passport. We don't need any identification. Nothing. We don't need to prove anything to anyone. Okay? It's simple. We do what we do. We say what we say. If it hits something here, an interest and intrigues you, it's your job to find out what this means. Further investigate. We give you the tools. We point the direction. It's your responsibility, guys, to investigate. Who do you think tells us what to do, what not to do? It's the way it works.
And that new signal is all about defining reality yourself. The old signal is the old signal, and that's what it was. But now, okay, when you are, the only thing you need to focus on is being in alignment with moral code. This is how all creation works. It's all about morality and recognizing that you are interwoven in the web of one infinite field of creation, and you influencing that field all the time. And therefore, I am the authority. You can only talk for you. I am authority because I'm in alignment with moral code. That makes you an authority. That then charges you with the new signal, the charge, which is power. I am the power. And then that is what is legitimacy. I am the legitimate commander of this earth's plane on the region you call Austria. Because I can prove to you how it works. I can tell you directly how this planet works. I can tell you directly how the matrix control system works and how they used to define authority and legitimacy and power, and they have none of it. That's why, because I can checkmate them in their own system, that's why I'm allowed to create the new system. Because I checkmated the old system, I am allowed and in full legitimacy of telling you what the new system is. That's why I'm authority, I am in power, and I am the legitimate, together with everyone who gets the instructions of the new signal also directly from the planet. This is how it works.
And as we're talking about this, someone is trying to tell me the more famous you are, the more identification. Get published, contact David Will fucking cock. The cock. Nice attempt on trying to pull me back into the system where they can get me, but I'm not interested, thank you. Kawake bastra. I don't need to. I am my identification. Yeah. I don't need to get identification and justification from the system that I exist or I'm worthy of this or I am me. I don't need nothing.
And to be totally honest, it shows in the comments also the, how do we call it? The mass global exorcism. And we're also surrounded not only by the light, and we know who is who.
Yeah.
And we make no bones about it. And in actual fact, I'll consider not wanting this intrusion any longer because I want to focus on the main points. Because I don't, to be quite honest, I'm happy for the people making the comments, and there's some fantastic comments in there. And I don't want to choose, but I don't want this interference any longer. Do not impose. We're doing our job. Do not tell us what we do and who we are, because we know who we are. I'm not interested. You either choose a different behavior instead of telling, oh, Errol's going to write a book and Liz is going to have a community. I'm already wasting time talking about it because of your energy sucking. That's why I consider legitimately to delete you from this chat. Kebab.
Yes,
and I don't give a fuck because I don't want to waste my time talking about this on my own stream. This is exactly what we mean. And it feels good talking about this anger that I have. Don't you guys get it that it's extinction for you?
You're over.
We don't want this on our planet anymore. I don't want this bullshit talk.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you waste your time talking bullshit? Because when you go on her channel, she's just doing fancy dances. Hey, you're full of shit.
Strutting around in a bikini.
Idiotic. You're not doing this. Okay? And 2 minutes wasted now because we're not doing this.
Serve the purpose.
Just absolutely not doing this, okay? Not any longer. Yeah, go willingly. Really don't need that. Pathetic. In the situation we're in, just Errol do this, Errol will be that. We know what we're doing. And this is beautiful example of the mass global exorcism. Yeah, you're exorcised. Gone with you. Bye-bye.
We're talking about Satanic network here, pedophiles, ritualistically abusing and killing children. Yeah. And she's talking to me about, oh, you should publish a book, Errol, because you need money, you need finances.
He's nothing.
Talking to me about David Wilcock. Another one.
Yes. Classic example. However, that's it, and this is a beautiful example. This is a beautiful example. As soon as you point them out, you see,
Gone.
Gone.
Bye.
Bye. Great. This is how it works. Perfect example. Mass global exorcism in action. So how, to wrap this up, what does a mass global exorcism look like? What's going to happen? How would you describe it? this system, royal flush of the Matrix.
They're done. They're done. They just slay themselves. They slay each other in the governments, in the institutions, on the streets, in the demonstrations, everywhere. They just slay each other, then they slay themselves, and they check out. Bye-bye.
Tim, we see this in the Matrix 4 because we watched it.
Yeah.
We wasted that time a little bit. But
We found a link the other night to the new Matrix 4 Resurrections movie. So we thought we'd watch it.
Yeah.
But there was a bit I liked in there, which basically portrayed these archons. As soon as you speak your truth, they show their eyes change. Their eyes change. And then when you're on your mission, they come after you and commit suicide.
It was right there in the movie.
It was right there in the movie, the principle of the flush,
Yeah.
basically.
And the guy who was here yesterday also talked about that his demon was telling him to suicide himself. So all the people involved in the biggest crimes that the earth has ever seen, they're being told by their own demons to commit suicide now. That's how mass global exorcism looks like. And those who do their shadow work, no demons can attach. And life is great. Never been greater. The best of times, only in the worst of times.
It's a nice quote here. There's a saying, somebody's saying, evil has within the makings of its own destruction, which is always what we say.
Exactly.
The Matrix, there's a built-in there's something called the self-slaying mechanism within an artificial system such as the Matrix. We call it the self-slaying mechanism, and that's where we're at right now. That's what we're looking at. They're slaying themselves left, right, and center because we've simply provided them the platform by doing the work, giving them the command. All we got to do is just sit back and watch themselves slay each other.
Mm-hmm. And everything that is truly ours will be drawn to us magnetically. As I like to quote the great Anita Moorjani, the great book, Dying to Be Me. Everything that is truly mine comes into my life effortlessly in the most magical ways imaginable, because life is magic. Demonstrating each and every single day the power and love of who I truly am. No archons can come in there. Self-love. Power.
Exactly.
Power. Yeah.
Power of love.
And that stone, again, cycle keeps repeating. That stone, that electrical action of throwing the stone, is continuing the ripple effect. So when it was a few weeks ago, it was as strong as this. The next day it gets like this, and now we're probably like this. That's
tsunami.
That's the tsunami. That's
it
why
turns into a tsunami.
That's why in the inner and the outer reality merging, okay, true magic, when the inner and the outer reality merges with your intention, that interior intention merges with the outside reality. That then shows as the water flushing, like you've never seen it before.
And the stone that you throw is the intention, right?
Yeah.
So you throw out your intention out there in a powerful manner. The more powerful your intention, the bigger the splash, the bigger the faster the ripple effect. And then the ripples hit the bank of the lake or wherever, and then they come back in on itself and meet once again in the center with a stone where the intention was thrown. And then it's like a crown, isn't it? Like a crown.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's how it works, and that's why we like to share about the principles of real reality manifestation. Very important. Put your intention and face the challenges along the way, because you'll always encounter resistance when you're transforming from one potentiality of your personality to the self. Wherever you're at right now, you're transforming to the self, and between those two energetic states, there'll be resistance, okay, because it's two different vibrations. Obviously, you're going to have resistance, basic physics. So you slay the resistance.
But to be able to make the such a slay, you must have done your shadow work. So how do you know that you need to do your shadow work? Someone is asking you, for example. It's important. How do you know that you need to do your shadow work? If you struggle to say no to what doesn't resonate with you, what you don't want, then you have some shadow work to do.
And also the other side of taking responsibility, which is the basis of sovereignty, is when you are in reaction mode. And not, as David Icke likes to explain, take a deep breath, look at it again. So reacting is the shadow coming up, and the shadow comes up, the trauma comes up, and instead of integrating it, you dissociate by attacking or reacting to someone outside of you. So there's always a choice. You get triggered, as I also get every day, especially by that child. Yeah. And you then have a choice, you get triggered, and then you have a choice either to dissociate, lash out, or you integrate it. Take a deep breath, just feel the emotion, and sync with it, be with it. Don't lash out.
Yeah, don't lash out. Yeah, the dragon is free and is slaying the archons. Okay? The dragon is the archon slayer. The dragon is not the archon. The dragon is the archon slayer. The dragon is not the archon. I won't say that again. All right, guys? And that dragon is free now. It's unleashed. It's risen through us.
Exactly.
It's fully active. It's fully active. That's why the archons are running and fleeing this realm, leaving their dogs behind to do the dirty work.
Suiciding their host.
Suiciding their host.
Take a look at that picture. They're not coming for us. They're coming for them.
Exactly.
That's why the Gnostics used the Ouroboros symbolism. The power of the earth. The dragon.
Yeah.
Powerful. So yeah.
Anything else?
Anything else? I think we're done.
Well, for now, we're done.
For today, done our work. Transmitting the new signal. Mass global exorcism goes out as an intention into the field and does its work. So now we can let go, relax, job done, let the magnetics work. Like a stone in a pond, as we said. Principles of natural order are simple. We just have to face ourselves, face the challenges. Don't be intimidated, because they fear us, not us, them. They just made us believe and project the fear that they have onto us, mindfuck us, but then we throw it right back to them. No more fear. All right, so till next time, I wish you a great time. Take very good care, and we see you guys in the next year. And things are we're going to continue our victory, aren't we? First in the spiritual, then into the material.
2022's victory.
Yeah, we're already declaring it.
222.
And for some, the penny will only really drop when you see us on the TV. But that's just a television. But we're taking that over too. Then only the penny will drop for my family and for, oh, actually, yeah, son, yeah, I told you we're taking back Austria. Who are you to do that? Well, first I make the intention and then I get what I deserve, because only the ones who do not need to tell others what to do are entrusted with the throne because of the moral code and the moral commands that we give. Only those are the ones truly legitimate to rule over this plane. As it says in the Hermetic tradition, the masters obey the causation of the higher planes and rule over their plane.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
And without moral code, we're nothing, remember. The less moral we are, the more enslaved we are by this force. The more moral we are, the less enslaved we are. So when we're fully moral, all together, all of us, there's no way we can be enslaved by any force on any planet, any creation, anywhere.
So I want to thank everyone for your support again. Amazing. And whoever wants to support us, in the description below. And thank you so much. They lock us down, we take them down.
Yeah.
Simple. Till next time, take very good care. Bye-bye.
See you later.